All right, Scorpio, welcome to your weekly Sidereal astrology forecast for October 5th through the 11th. My name is Athen. So this is, of course, for Sidereal astrology. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check the description because your sign might be different. So Scorpio, a lot taking place this week. We've got a lot of aspects. It's almost like all the aspects that would have happened last week because it was a very quiet week, now joined with the aspects of this week. And there's a lot of them, as you can see here. It is a mixed bag. We do have the challenging ones and the easier ones, which is the name of the game usually. And I'll just break them down. If you have any questions, please comment down below. So Saturn still sextiling the North Node from your first house. Saturn is making his way into Scorpio. It's a big theme for you Scorpios right now. It's about the long road, patience, perseverance, self-mastery. These are going to be the themes over the next 2.5 years, 2 to 2.5 years. And here it's about assuming a healthy sense of responsibility. Now, Saturn is in a harmonious aspect to your 11th house, which is having a lot of changes this month, which is the house of your ideals, your visions for the future, your groups, your friends, community-related things, networking. All of that you've probably been reflecting on with Mercury retrograde, and now Mercury's going direct here on Friday. And when he does, he conjoins up to the North Node and joins up to that sextile with Saturn. So essentially what this means is that over the past couple years, there has been the support for you to connect to these ideals or technology or with friends or groups or whatever it is that you feel like is larger than self. And that's been the transformative energy. So now there's a lot to be learned this week with Mercury going over this point and going direct, who naturally does rule that 11th house of yours. So shifts there, if you've been feeling like there's been kind of that reflection or things for some of you not moving forward there or whatever. Sometimes it feels that way with Mercury retrograde. Now starts to move forward. It's going to be subtle into next week, but it's very supportive with Saturn. There's a lot of patience energy available to it, and there's a lot of things to learn about it because the North Node's about what's new and what we can learn from it, and especially when it's joined up with Mercury like this. So that's pretty much all week, as well as Jupiter trining up to Pluto, and this is actually a very nice aspect, and it's going to go into next week as well. And it has a lot to do with your career. Had a lot of emphasis here in your career, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. Jupiter creating opportunities with the trine from Pluto. It can mean perhaps some restructuring there in the career front, new opportunities there, maybe with the finances. Jupiter rules your second, Pluto's in your second, so that could be nice for some of you, depends on your personal chart there. And the big thing is that the more open you are to change and really utilize this, if you've been feeling like it's time to make some change at work or with your career, with your legacy, anything on that public level, it's a fantastic couple weeks to do that. And there's a lot of positive support for that, and that'll continue. Mars is going to go over this position, then Venus, and so it's going to be an ongoing theme for the next couple months. So with this going into Orb, there has been positive changes with your finances, material values in life, so be open to those changes as well, and I think you'll find that supportive. Now, those are the general energies, which are all nice aspects. As you can see, those are the blue aspects we just talked about, but there are the challenging ones, and the challenging ones are kind of split up into two halves, the two in the early part of the week, and then the two during the weekend. So let's talk about the first half of the week. Mars opposes up to Neptune, your ruler, and your ruler Mars opposes up to Neptune, and the Sun squares up to Pluto. So essentially what this means is that this first few days, it is your ruler, so there is this uncertainty maybe about who you are, what you're working on, what your goals are, maybe in regards to your self-image. And it's all in this sort of theme of career, because that's where your ruler is. I think there's a lot of energy there with that. If it's not career, then it's legacy or something public, or whatever it is you're contributing back to society. And there's the uncertainty about that, along with probably things relating to home or family or your emotional body or your past and your roots, which is the fourth house. So Neptune it's a learning experience, and here it's learning to have the faith and trust, as is the lessons with Neptune, and through that we are gaining a greater ease when we do loosen up the reins and allow the universe and God to do their part, which is obviously the whole unfoldment of the universe. But there is that balance. There is the balance of within the context of what is unfolding for us, we do have choice, but it's not going to any extremes of either one of these. Not going to the extreme of just expecting life to just completely do things for us, and at the same time not taking control of life so much that we lose sight of the fact that we are, of course, part of this experience. So here with this, that opposition is especially, again, relating to home and family. So balance in the domestic life and in the work life, I think, will be important this early part of the week. Maybe get that rest and relaxation within a balanced degree, and I think you'll find that supporting. Now, the sun does square up to Pluto, your secondary ruler. So here there is that challenging aspect from the second house of what's changing for you in the material front. And for you, it's involving, what you're really focused on right now, which I feel like is more of the networking or socializing or technological stuff or group stuff, which is that 11th house. So be very patient with that this early part of the week. It really is a week of patience just because of all the difficult aspects. I mean, there's easy ones, but there's a lot of difficult ones too. And be willing to make change. The more open you are to change, not only with the finances, which I talked about, but also with your friends, your groups, your networks, and having non-attachment with those particular areas of life and your career for that matter. Since the sun does rule your 10th, then it can be very constructive. So like I was saying, there's a lot of positive support for you to change your career. But with this is signifying that maybe there are areas of it that do take that extra willpower, that extra attention and conscious energy to do so. Now, the second half of the week does have quite the different type of aspects in terms of the shift. After Mercury goes direct, Venus squares up to Saturn. And then the sun opposes up to Uranus. So over the weekend, things relating to your relationships, your one-on-one connections, and that alone time, take it nice and slow. Again, grounded energy. This is all about Saturn going into your first house, which is that self-mastery. And but if you are open to constructively working on, patience in the long road when it comes to your one-on-one connections and your alone time and spiritual time out, and even your career stuff, then it becomes very constructive. Now, the sun opposing up to Uranus does signify that there is this freeing up of energy, trying to break free, as there has been in regards to your passions in life. That lunar eclipse a couple of weeks ago was really illuminating that fifth house of your creative self-expression. And there was a lot of old energy being released with that, so now you should be feeling quite free. So on Sunday, going into Monday, it's about that freedom, but keep both feet firmly on the ground. Remember that passions are about what we give in the world and with those around us, and what we give is very much in sync with what we're passionate about. At least that's when it's in balance. That's when it's in harmony. So remembering that, and when it comes to that career, staying nice and grounded. But if there are some changes, as long as it's something that you can kind of reflect on and take it nice and slow going into next week, then it's a great time to continuously make change in those particular areas. So Scorpio, the highlight for all of us is the fact that Mercury is going direct. A lot of the things relating to your 11th house, your ideals, group stuff, whatever it might be, starting to move forward, as well as the deeper aspects of life. Maybe you've been reflecting on, as you usually do during a Mercury retrograde, what's really meaningful in life. And with all this positive energy and square energy, constructive energy in your 10th house, taking things nice and slow, but continuing to expand when it comes to those career activities. So, Scorpio, I hope you guys have a great week. If you have any questions, please do let me know, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.